Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2017 and a brand new experiment where we see what would happen if you gave a club the best possible first 11 and the best possible Wonderkids 11 and let them battle it out over time, giving the club the best possible opportunity of long-term success with the best players for now and the best players for the future. Now I've tried to be a little bit objective in the way that I've done that. I've chosen Leicester City as the team for the experiment. I've also given them Pep Guardiola as manager just to help make sure that the big players are managed properly. Now, if we take a look at the senior squad, the way that I've picked this team is by purely picking the most expensive player in each position in a 4-4-2 formation, which means that you'll have 4 strikers, but 2 right backs, 2 left backs, etc. And you'll have the most expensive player in the game for that position, regardless of anything else. And you'll also have the most expensive player, I think, under the age of 23 for the Wonderkids, which is quite a high age for the Wonderkids. It might actually be 21, just having a look at players like Jose Jimenez and Hector Bellerin. So I think the age is actually 21 for the Wonderkids. So it's the most expensive player for each position under the age of 21 as well. So that means in goal you obviously have Manuel Neuer, who's 30 years old, but you've then got the 17-year-old Donnarumma as backup. So obviously Neuer will be the first team keeper for now, but over time Donnarumma will replace him, and Neuer may even get shifted out of the club if Donnarumma becomes a better goalkeeper or asks for playing time. At right back, interestingly, the most expensive player in the game is actually Seamus Coleman at right back. So he is at the club now, 105 grand a week, playing in the right back position. He is backed up by Hector Bellerin, who's 21 years old. So he will also do a job there over time. Seamus Coleman, 27 now, so there's not a huge age gap there, but I imagine Bellerin might actually be played ahead of him anyway. You then have Kurt Zouma, 21, in central defence, Joshua Kimmich, the other wonder kid, in defence, with Boateng and Hummels, the two main players in the centre. You've got Jose Jimenez is actually the other defender. I think Kimmich's in as the midfielder. David Alaba, the first choice left back, with the other one being Baba Rahman. He was the other most expensive wonder kid at 21 years old. You then have Paul Pogba, inevitably 23-year-old. He's in midfield. Leroy Sané is the wonder kid, I think, for the right side of midfield. Martial, the wonder kid, for the left side of midfield. Gareth Bale is the left winger. Raheem Sterling, another youngster on the wing. I think Martial's actually in as a striker. Neymar, the main player for the right of midfield alongside Gareth Bale, with Kaputska, the best right midfielder, I think, left midfielder rather. You've then got Kevin De Bruyne, who can play in central midfield. That's why he's in there. Dele Alli, the best wonder kid in central midfield as well. And then you've obviously got Lionel Messi up front as the main player. He can obviously play up front or as a right midfielder. Marcus Rashford, apparently one of the most expensive young strikers in the game at 18 years old. So he will definitely be around for the future. And then you've also got Robert Lewandowski for £55 million up top alongside Lionel Messi. So it's quite a dangerous team. 22 players in total. I released all the former Leicester City players to make room for this squad, and I suppose the biggest absence from this team is probably Cristiano Ronaldo, who, because he's now 31 years old, I think, he just doesn't carry the value for the long term, which means he isn't the most expensive player in any of his favoured positions, which is why he is not in the team. But this is a very, very strong team, and what we're going to do now is just jump forward a couple of years in time, or even just 1 year in time, and see how the squad has got on, who's been playing the most, have they won anything, and is the team holding together, or are they already selling players and bringing new players in? Well, here is the screen 1 year in the future. Pep Guardiola is still in charge. Matt Hummels now the captain of the team. Lionel Messi the vice-captain and the key player. I suppose the first and most interesting thing is to have a look at the transfer history for this season and see what's happened. Obviously, a lot of the players were all brought in on free and released on free, and it looks like Kaputska went out on loan to Espanyol, but otherwise there was no extra transfer business this season, so the club didn't spend any money on bringing players in or out. They trusted the team that I left them with. And if we have a look at their senior squad schedule, And you'll see they had an excellent pre-season, winning every single game, including their Chinese tour, and then also beating Manchester United 3-2 in the Community Shield final. Rashford getting a game and a goal, with Bale making it 2-2 after they went 2-0 down very early on. Robert Lewandowski with the winner in the 55th minute. Then they beat West Ham 2-1. Neymar with a late goal. Jose Jimenez sent off in that game. They then beat Manchester City 2-1 as well, putting together a nice little run of wins, only scoring 2 goals in their first few Premier League games though, but managing to beat Liverpool as well as City in the opening stretch, before being beaten 2-0 by Manchester United. A bit of revenge there, despite United going down to 10 men and being away from home, which was quite interesting. They were then beaten by Sevilla in the Champions League as well. A couple more wins in the league before being beaten by Sporting 2-1. So their Champions League not really going the best. They had 1 win from their opening 3 games. They did get through against Derby in the EFL Cup, managing to get a win against Sporting and also beating Chelsea 3-1. Jamie Vardy now at Chelsea. Neymar, Lionel Messi and Kevin De Bruyne with the goals there for Leicester. Beaten 2-1 by Monaco though. So their Champions League campaign really did flounder. I'm not sure they actually did get through. They ended up going into the Europa League from the looks of it. But they managed to get through against Bournemouth in the EFL Cup. 103rd minute winner from Paul Pogba, beating Sevilla as well in their last Champions League group game. Good run in the Premier League, beating Arsenal 1-0, Lionel Messi with the goal, and then drawing with Man City 1-1, Pogba getting the goal in that game. Through in the FA Cup, and also beating Stoke home and away in the EFL Cup semi-final. Bale and Jimenez, and again Bale with a goal, Lewandowski with the other, and then beaten 2-0 by Manchester United in the Premier League, but they did get through the FA Cup. That's them beaten home and away by United in the Premier League. But they were in the Europa League, they won it 4-0 home and away in both legs. Comprehensive victory there. Lots of different players getting on the score sheet, which is nice to see. They also beat Burton Albion 3-0 in the 5th round. And then they beat Southampton 2-1. Anthony Martial with an 82nd minute winner at Wembley, giving them their first piece of silverware with this team. Then in the Europa League knockout second round, Robert Lewandowski with the goal in the first leg, Paul Pogba with the goal with a second, but they were in between that knocked out of the FA Cup by West Ham, Jonathan Calleri with the goal. But their league form continued in an excellent fashion, and they were ultimately taken on Southampton, where they lost 3-2 in the first leg, won 3-2 in the first leg at home, but then lost 2-1 away. And I think that means they went out on away goals in the quarterfinal stage to Southampton, which would be quite disappointing for them. But they did beat Spurs, then lost to Arsenal, but finishing up reasonably well with a couple of wins in the league. So if you have a look at their competitions page for the senior squad, you'll see they did win the Premier League by 3 points over Manchester United, who obviously beat them home and away. So had that gone the other way, they'd be much further up the points total, with United much further behind as well. But winning the league in their first season is not bad at all. They also won the Community Shield and EFL Cup, so it is a nice double. Getting knocked out the FA Cup, Champions League and the and Europa League as well wasn't ideal, but hopefully they'll have more European success going forward as the team starts to gel. If we have a look at their senior squad and look at their selection info, if I can get the right screen, there it is, and sort them by appearances, that will give us the best bet. So you had Joshua Kimmich, interestingly, was the most played player. He did exceptionally well this season at £39 million value, just doing very, very well in the team. He looks like a pretty solid player at this point. Matt Hummels, the captain, also up there with an awful lot of games, doing very well. Neuer inevitably playing almost every game. Lionel Messi, 19 goals and 19 assists, 8.12 average, easily their best player. Lewandowski was getting a lot of games. But if we sort them by average rating first, you'll see Lionel Messi was their standout player, as you would expect. Boateng and Hummels, the central defensive partnership, doing the best, with Alaba also up there doing very well. Neymar having a good season alongside Kimmich and Pogba. But the goals tally was led the way by Robert Lewandowski, just 25 and 58, not the best return. Paul Pogba doing very well, getting 20 goals from midfield. Lionel Messi, 19 goals, Neymar, 17 goals, and the assists was led by Lionel Messi, with Pogba following up close behind. Paul Pogba had a stormer of a season, it seems. Neymar getting 11, De Bruyne 9. So not a bad season, but I think some of these star players maybe would have expected to do a little bit better. De Bruyne and Bale chipping in with a few goals. Martial doing very well, 8 goals from just 27 appearances, and most of them as a substitute as well. But everybody else is getting 1 goal, so they didn't score that many goals as a team, which is a little bit disappointing overall. But they have done well. They've kept all the players as well. So I think what I'll do now is I'll have a quick look at where some of their star players ended up going to. So Jamie Vardy went to Chelsea on a free. Riyad Mahrez went to Real Madrid on a free, not hugely surprising there. He was always going to get snapped up by a big team. Who else have we got? Islam Slimani ended up going to China, earning 225 grand a week, as you do. Andy King, he ended up going to LA Galaxy at 28 years old. That's quite an interesting transfer. Christian Fuchs went to Roma, playing at left back for Roma now. Danny Simpson now at Liverpool, which is interesting. Wes Morgan, the captain, did go to China, earning 200 grand a week. You can't complain at that after winning the Premier League. Kasper Schmeichel now at Milan, quite interesting. Okazaki, quite a character, now at Valencia. And then you've also got Ulloa, who ended up going to Fiorentina. And I think that's really it for the major players. There's not too many others there. Jeffrey Schlupp, where did he end up? He went to Moscow, which is a bit out there. Matty James now at West Brom. So pretty much all these players getting picked up by other teams. But quite interesting that the team has held together completely. They didn't feel the need to supplement any of the signings. Obviously, they've got pretty much the complete squad now. And it looks like nobody's asked to leave either. So I think I'm going to end it there. I know it's only one season that we take a look at, but I think that encompassed quite a lot of different aspects. If you like this experiment and are interested to see how it goes into the future, do let me know. I'm interested to see how it goes, but let me know in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you want to see where they are. I think next time I'll go another year in the future and then maybe a couple of years after that, so we can end up going 4 years into the future in the next episode. So let me know if you want to see that experiment, and as always, subscribe to see more experiments like this. But until next time, see ya.